Port Orange is a coastal gem of Volusia County. Many of us associated with the Halifax River, the beach, or just sunny Florida.
But its history, specifically its black history, is much more rich than that. West 2's Jesse Pagan digs into the story of Freemanville.
If you've driven along busy US 1 in Port Orange, you've no doubt passed a sign telling part of the tale of the birth of Port Orange.
The sign tells the history of Freemanville, one of the first all-black settlements in Volusia County back in the 1800s, and also part of the spark that birthed Port Orange.
This is on the high plains of Peru.
Dr. Leonard Lempel is professor emeritus at Daytona State College and a former professor at Bethune-Cookman University. His work focused on African-American history and in Volusia County, Freemanville.
Freemanville dates back to really, the story begins right after the Civil War.
That puts us in 1886. As the story goes, abolitionist and Army surgeon Dr. John Milton Hawks moved to the area along with roughly 500 freed families in hopes of starting the Florida Land and Lumber Company. Over time, more people settled along the Halifax River, making it one of the most popular places in the state at the time. But the company had a rough path, eventually failed, and people moved away.
But the families that stayed, the black homesteaders who stayed, were rather remarkable people. They had basically bucked all odds and created homesteads that were profitable.
Freemanville, which roughly sat in this area just off US 1 in Port Orange, was one of them. It's now part of the Black Heritage Trail, one stop among many across the country.
It became this black community that was self-sufficient and also provided insulation from a rather hostile white community on the outside in the early 1900s and late 1800s.
All that's really left of Freemanville nowadays is Mount Moriah Baptist Church, nestled amongst houses, a small building with quite a bit of history.
At the end of the day, they had prayer, and they trusted and believed in God, and they knew that that's who they had to turn to in order to survive.
Cynthia Slater is president of the Volusia County Daytona Beach NAACP.
Freemanville, we got Rosewood, those little towns were historical towns for African Americans, and they no longer stand. I mean, they're just a asterisk in history.
Yet they're places where pioneering, newly freed slaves settled, innovated, and persevered.
We were brought here not by choice, and they need to remember the things that, the struggles that African Americans had to go through.
And how those struggles shaped the nation and the cities and towns we know today.
We were brought here not by choice, and they need to remember the things that, the struggles that African Americans had to go through.
Now in 2015, the city of Port Orange declared the second Tuesday in February as Freemanville Day, and then since then, the community has celebrated in some way or another.
I love what you did with this story, taking a look back at it, and I also love your passion when you pitch a story and you're dedicated to doing it. How many people you were trying to get in touch with, track people down?
Yeah, I spent a couple weeks trying to track people down, trying to get in touch with the family who was connected. One of the families connected to the church and to Freemanville. As we saw, really all that's left is that one building. Yeah. I talked with the neighbors who live near the houses, and they know a bit of the story and whatnot. But yeah, and that just kind of goes to show, as Cynthia put it, they're kind of becoming asterisks in history. People don't really aren't connected to them, or sadly the people who were are starting to pass away. And so that's one of the reasons that she was saying, we have to start, bringing these things back up in conversations.
Here's a special thing that I like about it as well. Obviously we have a lot of local counties around here that all have history similar to that, but you grew up in Volusia County.
Yeah.
So you're able to tell stories from the county that you grew up in.
And that's one of my focuses, I suppose, when I'm looking for stories. I try to look for stories in Volusia County because they're interesting to me, and hopefully other people out there find them interesting too.
They do. Thank you for doing the story. Important to keep telling those stories.
Yes. All right.